Which girl, sir?
The owner of this dot.
The best fighting movies you need to be watching. There's something about high-intensity combat that gets our collective hearts pumping. And since everyone needs a solid increase in adrenaline every once in a while, we thought we'd introduce you to the movies that everyone needs to see. So stay tuned as we take a trip down memory lane and point out the greatest fighting movies of all time. Number 1. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. First up on our list is one of the most incredible pieces of martial arts cinema ever created. We are, of course, referring to the one and only Wu Hong Kang Long, which is better known by its English translation of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Released in the year 2000 and created by the complex mind of Ang Lee, this masterpiece takes the viewer on a journey through 19th century China. More often than not, following the perspective of a martial artist by the name of Bo, as portrayed by the talented Xiang Gao. We also see the likes of Michelle Yeoh, which brings the character of Yu Xin Lian to life with some of the most incredible stunts and acting you'll ever see in a mixed martial arts movie. Guaranteed. And that's really what sets Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon apart from the rest of the Chinese fighting movies that made its way to the Western market. Rather than concentrating on terrible dub translations that often cause movies from the same region to be mocked, Ang Lee ensured that Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon would never be subject to professional dubbing, making it a high-intensity martial arts movie that almost had to be watched with its original score and narration. But luckily for him, the martial arts prowess that features in the film made it an immediate hit with Western audiences who had just started to become familiar with the Japanese genre of anime, which Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon so perfectly portrays. So if you wanted to watch one of the classic fighting movies of the new millennia, there's no better example than this, which to a certain extent was responsible for the massive resurgence of fighting movies that went on to take place in the latter part of the decade. Oh, did we mention that there's also a pretty significant love story hidden amongst all the technically proficient fighting that is found throughout the runtime of the film? So use that to your advantage and convince your significant other that it's time to watch one of the greatest movies ever made. Believe us, you won't be disappointed. Number 2, Never Back Down. But if you wanted to check out a film that doesn't require you to read subtitles, then look no further than Never Back Down, which plays out like a mixture between Fight Club and The Breakfast Club. It follows the life of Jake Tyler, a high school student who suffers from anger issues after losing his father in an unfortunate drunk driving accident. This results in him having to move schools, where he comes face to face with the new age sport of mixed martial arts. As it turns out, the hot-headed boyfriend of the girl he comes to like just so happens to be the champion of the local tournament. Suffice to say, Tyler finds himself between a rock and a hard place and essentially has to choose between his own pride or becoming a better man down the road. In other words, expect an insane amount of drama and a steamy romance between Jake, as portrayed by Sean Ferris, and Beja Miller, the girl of his dreams who is brought to life by the now controversial Amber Heard. Director Jeff Wadlow was also able to secure some incredible talent in the form of Evan Peters, who was at the time a nobody in the filming industry. There are a few other reasons to take a look at Never Back Down though. Rather than purely focusing on the fighting styles that are being portrayed on screen, as we saw in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Never Back Down follows a number of different arcs that come together in a brilliant finale. This results in a feel-good movie that explores the concept of love, self-acceptance, friendship, and forgiveness, all while providing one heck of a training montage that will have you wanting to train harder in the days to come. Suffice to say, Never Back Down will always be the perfect choice when it comes to a fighting film that can be watched alongside a friend or significant other that doesn't like fighting that much, as it has a bit of everything. Just don't bother with its sequel, Never Back Down 2, The Beatdown, as that's a choice we certainly regretted making. You can back down from that one. Number 3, Bloodsport. When it comes to fighting movies that just have to be seen, at least one Jean-Claude Van Damme film has to feature, and for us, there's no better installment than 1988's Bloodsport. This is practically the precursor of Fight Club, which woke the Western world up to the enjoyability of intense martial arts bouts. In fact, there's evidence to suggest that the reputation of the movie is what led to competitive video games like Mortal Kombat and Tekken becoming so popular. It follows the journey of Armored Captain Frank Dux, who is of course portrayed by Jean-Claude Van Damme, as he travels through to Hong Kong with the intention of becoming the next champion of a secretive martial arts contest. Unlike the other tournaments that are above board, this one refuses to guarantee the survival of any of its contestants, allowing fighters to win by any means necessary. And As you can imagine, this spells trouble for both Frank Dux and the competitors he finds himself fighting along the way to victory. Bloodsport is a classic example of the 80s action movies we have come to love over the years, and has some of the most memorable moments which have gone on to be used in action movies for years to come. What truly makes it special is the fact that it remains Jean-Claude Van Damme's breakout role, allowing viewers to see how great he really was until his air gets caught up to him in the late 2000s. So whether you're a Jean-Claude fan or just want to know why the man is such a celebrated martial arts actor, do us a favor and watch Bloodsport as soon as you can. Number 4. Kung Fu Hustle. Next up on our list is Kung Fu Hustle, which in our opinion is one of the most underrated martial arts films of the last few decades. Essentially, the plot revolves around a Chinese gangster who pretends to be a member of a high-profile gang in an attempt to terrorize an apartment complex. But unbeknownst to him, this apartment complex is actually inhabited by 3 martial arts masters that have some pretty incredible abilities. In the end, we have an all-out war between the infamous gang and the crowd favorite martial artists, displaying some incredible skill in a manner that is far more fantastical than it is realistic. Once more, this is a martial arts film that leans more in the direction of anime than anything else, making physical constraints such as gravity something that the fighters don't often have to contend with. As such, you can expect everything from special abilities to airbending techniques. What really sets it apart from the other films on this list, though, is its ability to not take itself too seriously. In fact, some experts would consider it to be a comedy rather than a fighting film, but we don't see why it can't be both. So if you want to see some incredible fighting mix with some laugh-out-loud moments, look no further than Kung Fu Hustle. Number 5. Enter the Dragon. But then, we have the fighting movie that actually did start it all. We are of course referring to 1973's Enter the Dragon, which was the last film that the talented Bruce Lee participated in before unfortunately passing away in the same year of its release. And honestly, Enter the Dragon has everything you have come to expect in a martial arts movie and more. There's most certainly a focus on the incredible fighting style of Bruce Lee, but at the same time, you'll find yourself invested in a plot that is riddled with mysteries. You see, we follow the journey of Lee, a Shaolin monk who has been brought on by the British intelligence agency in an effort to infiltrate a fighting tournament and arrest a man by the name of Han, who is heavily involved in the drug and sex trafficking industry. Suffice to say, Lee finds himself facing off against one of the greatest challenges of his life, all while trying to get to the bottom of what secrets the island resort has to offer. Everything we have explained so far is pretty surface level though, hitting a brilliant mix between James Bond and the mixed martial arts movies of before. But the film has a pretty unique, deeper meaning, being an allegory for post-colonial Asia. So it doesn't matter whether you're looking at Enter the Dragon through an artistic, aggressive lens. Either way, you're sure to enjoy yourself. What do you think about these fighting movies though? Be sure to let us know in the comment section down below.